Why did Dad leave me? That was one of the questions that I had as I was growing up and my dad wasn't there. And in this video I want to answer that question, at least as best I can from my experience and in the situation I'm in. So that's what I'm going to share with you if you are growing up without your dad and asking yourself that question today. This channel is for boys growing up without a dad, and if that's you, then I hope you'll subscribe to the channel. But let me answer that question. Why did my dad leave me? In the mind of your dad, that is probably the last thing he did. He didn't leave you. He was leaving a situation where it was either a challenging relationship with your mom that wasn't working out. In all reality, in his mind, it was probably the best thing for you that he no longer be there, because your mom and him were not getting along, maybe arguing, whatever the issue might have been. If your dad happens to be the one that left, then in his mind, he was probably doing it because he felt that it was best for everyone, including you. Now, that may be little comfort to you, because I know for me, I wanted to have a family like the other families that I saw, where mom and dad were both there and kids were in the home. But that wasn't the way it was going to be for me, and that's probably not how it is for you, or you wouldn't be watching this video. So those are a couple of the reasons of why in your dad's mind it was best for you if he left. Another reason could be that your dad just didn't have a good role model in terms of how to be a good husband and or a good father. I don't know how he grew up, and that may or may not apply to your dad, but the world you're growing up in now is a lot different than the one I grew up in, and there are a lot fewer dads in homes now than there were 40, 50 years ago when I was a little boy growing up or a teenager growing up. So your dad may not have had a good example to follow himself. Finally, your dad might just frankly have some challenges that he needs to deal with, that he's not ready. He may not be at this stage in his life the best example for you to follow when it comes to being a husband, being a partner in a relationship, or most particularly for being a dad. So if your dad is not in your life and you're asking yourself the question, why did my dad leave me? As I did when I was growing up, those are some of the reasons. Now, that may help intellectually. That may help you understand why, some of the reasons why, but you probably have other questions. And in fact, in this series, I'm going to answer what I wrote down as my top 10 questions growing up without my dad, what they were. The next one I'm going to talk about is how could my dad leave me? I was one that loved kids. I wanted to be a dad and have a family, and I could not understand how dad could leave me. So I'm going to address that in the next one. Now, I hope you had a relationship, or you have a relationship still with your dad. But it's important for you to understand and remember this. You have your own life to live. Now, you may have questions about how you can learn to be a man, how you can be a dad, how you can be effective when you don't have a dad in the home. I'm going to talk about all of those in this series. But I want you always to remember, as I say in every video, you can succeed, whether that's being a dad, whether that's being a husband, whether it's in a profession, in school, socially. You can still succeed, even though your dad may not be in your daily life. And always remember, your stepdad loves you. And I will see you in the next video.